Hey everyone, Dan Savager here from MergeYourData, and this is the fourth video, day 4 of the 90-day YouTube sprint that we're doing all about signal analytics, and I'm happy to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about one of the things that I'm hearing a lot from our clients, from our prospects, which is that marketing strategies aren't working like they used to, and so now what are you going to do? And so we're going to talk about one of the approaches that we help with and that we've seen great success in, and hopefully stimulate some ideas on your end. I'm going to keep using this gamma presentation approach for these videos as I keep trying to learn how to do this. And then if we find something better, we'll move on to that. So before we get started, who am I? Dan Saavedra, the founder of this company right here, Signal Analytics Consulting Firm. It's a thing we talk about on these videos. So basically, we find the signal amongst the noise of your data. We help grow your revenue more efficiently using hard science. I've been in data for over 12 years doing various things, blah, blah, blah. So what is the risk here? Why do we care about this? If your marketing strategies aren't working anymore, then your job isn't as secure, and then you're risking your reputation, because if things don't improve, then people won't trust you because you didn't steer them in the right direction. And so that's fair, right? If I'm underperforming at my job, my team is underperforming at what we do, then our reputation is at risk, and we should face the consequences for that because we need to get results. And so it's okay to go through rough patches, but we just have to turn it around and make sure that we drive results and find a way out of that hole. If things were easy, then there wouldn't be a need for hard work, right? So things would just kind of come as they are. Who should care? People in control of marketing strategy and budget. You can make the changes here to the problem, or you can make the changes in the organization to solve the problem. And so whether you're a marketing executive or an owner of a small company who's driving that budget and very involved in that, chief revenue officer, doesn't matter what you are. If you're in control of the marketing strategy and or budget, then this is probably relevant to you. So this is pretty much what you do. What to do. Get more efficient with what's working. Cut the losers. And it's simple but not easy, these two things above. Now, this seems obvious, right? Obviously, we're going to cut what's not working, and we're going to get more efficient with what is. And so if we break that down a little bit more, this not only pertains to budgets around your strategy, but also people, which is a hard conversation to have. But this is a time for introspection. If things are not going well, we need to make some changes. And so we want to do one of those two things. And as many people say, pretty sure I heard this first from Alex Hormozy, it's simple, but it's not easy. And so how we can do that, and this is one approach, there are many ways that you can get this done. First thing is to know your unit economics across your marketing strategies and then the personas inside of those marketing strategies. And so these are fundamental metrics, fundamental unit economics that you should be focusing on anyways as a business, but you need to get more granular with it. So LTV, CAC, churn, all that stuff, you need to dig into it and see how that breaks down across strategies and across personas. And one thing to remember is when you're using data, most of the time it's not going to be perfect. A lot of the time, all the time, it's not going to be perfect. But you should be able to get a very representative breakdown of what is going on. And so you won't have 100% attribution. It's not going to happen. You will have a way to look at the broad generalizations of the strategies, how that breaks down into the personas that you're targeting, how that leads to various success rates of moving people through the customer journey. Which leads us into our second point here. Know your conversion rates along the whole pipeline. So yes, this is sales data, even though you're in marketing, but you need to dive into the conversion rates between each single stage in the pipeline and see if there is points of leakage, if there's some type of messaging or communication that's not happening or is happening in the wrong way and forcing customers away, or if there's a specific persona or person who comes in through a specific strategy that are dropping off at certain points. Maybe they're not a good overall person to target. Maybe the channel leads to a bunch of false positives. And so you need to know your conversion rates broken down by the unit economics above. Broken down by the marketing strategies and personas from above. And then third is the part that we focus on and that we are specialists in and we see a lot of success with after doing these first two things is understanding which signals are strong. And so that means both positive and negative signals. Positive signals means there's a good chance that a person is going to become a customer and purchase. Negative signals mean there's a good chance that they are not going to become a customer. And knowing both of those will help you understand what to focus on. And so if you're breaking down these signals through the marketing strategy lens, through the persona lens, through the pipeline lens, you'll be able to identify which data points will show you should focus on this strategy or on this type of person. And then you'll also be able to see the opposite of that. These are the people who we shouldn't even waste our time with. We should try a downsell or another product or something like that. And so if you take these 3 steps, this is going to be the beginning of changing that trend line from a negative trend to a positive trend. And this is exactly the approach we've taken with many, many clients. And almost all the time, this turns things around. If there are other fundamental issues within the business, then there is a possibility that it will not work. And not everything is perfect, right? But understanding these signals has helped our clients, and we can see this within the data, within the revenue data. We see downward trends on graphs. And then after we implement the third step, it goes right back up. So we understand the signals, we make the cuts with the negative signals, we double down on the positive signals, and almost without fail, we then turn around that negative trend. Like I said, nothing's perfect, but this is an approach that we use, going through the fundamentals, looking at everything broken down into little groups, and then acting on that. And so this is how you can do that as well. So what should happen? You should immediately get better unit economics once you identify those signals and implement them. If you cut the channels, the strategies, and the personas that are not working, you don't even have to reallocate that budget yet. That's for a later part, but you should see better unit economics immediately because you're cutting spend. And it should be a significant portion of spend. 2, growth with what's working. So you can double down and reattribute that spend to the campaigns, the strategies, the personas that are working and see continued growth from them. And then that inevitably leads to some type of loss in efficiency. That's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes it's very small. Other times it is pretty dramatic and drops off pretty quick. So you have to pay attention to these signals and how they are changing and shifting. But typically you see a small decline over time in efficiency with what's working. And we're talking about a short time frame here, not long term. If you scale up the spend on what's working very, very quickly, then there's a chance that you completely blow the signal out of the water and you lose that efficiency immediately. And then it's no longer making sense from the unit economic standpoint. But I digress. 4, reallocate cut strategy budgets into experiments. So you can reallocate it into what's working immediately, and then you can take the rest, if you would like, and reallocate it into experiments that you're probably already doing. So you should be experimenting with marketing, and this is one way to fund those experiments by cutting from things that don't work, and then that inevitably leads to step 5 here, which is find new promising signals. And so with those experiments, you should be measuring these signals. You should already have this analysis from doing the previous steps, and you should just have new data points flowing in from the various signals from the experiments, and now you can tell which ones are positive, negative, neutral, whatever it may be. And so that's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to just be more broad on an issue that we've seen people verbalizing to us. We've heard people verbalizing to us. So next video, we'll be going into another problem, another similar type of phrase that we've been hearing, and how signal analytics can help solve it. So if you've enjoyed these videos, subscribe. There's also a link in the description to get email notifications of when we release videos. If you don't like these videos, roast me in the comments because I would love to hear what you're thinking, so I can get better and I can hear what the community is thinking. So I'm Dan Savadra from MergeYourData. Thanks for watching.